Commander Elena Voss maintained her vigil upon the observation deck of the Endeavour, her gaze tracing the celestial tapestry beyond the reinforced viewport. For 90 days her vessel had traversed the cosmic frontier, charting uncharted star systems and seeking evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. The work possessed a serene quality that resonated deeply with her disposition. "Commander, sensor array detecting incoming contacts," Lieutenant Chen announced from his monitoring station, urgency threading through his ordinarily composed voice. 3 vessels approaching at high velocity. Elena traversed the deck to examine the tactical display. The approaching craft bore imposing dimensions, their hulls adorned with luminescent violet patterns that defied human aesthetic conventions. Nothing in the Federation database matched their configuration. "Establish communications protocol," Elena commanded with measured authority. "Transmit peaceful intentions on all standard frequencies." The communications specialist acknowledged and initiated the sequence. Silence pervaded the bridge for several heartbeats. Then the primary view screen flickered into life, revealing an alien physiognomy that radiated unmistakable disdain. A towering being with ashen dermis and 4 ocular organs arranged in vertical pairs. "You have violated Zathene territorial sovereignty," the alien declared, its vocalization carrying Arctic undertones. "Your vessel represents technological inadequacy. Compliance with boarding procedures is mandatory. Resistance will result in obliteration." Elena's jaw tightened imperceptibly. The Endeavour occupied neutral space, a fact she had verified through multiple navigational cross-references. "We pursue peaceful scientific objectives," she responded with deliberate composure. "We harbor no hostile intentions. Immediate withdrawal from this sector will commence forthwith." The Zathene commander produced a vocalization resembling derisive amusement. "Your technological achievements constitute an affront to civilized standards. You humans presume membership among spacefaring species, yet you remain inconsequential. Instructive measures are required." Before Elena could formulate a response, the Zathene formation opened fire without further discourse. Crimson energy projections hammered against the Endeavour's defensive barriers. The entire superstructure convulsed violently. Personnel were displaced from their stations. Alert klaxons screamed throughout the command center. "Return fire," Elena shouted above the cacophony. "Helm, evasive maneuvers, maximum acceleration." The Endeavour's defensive armaments responded, but the projectiles deflected harmlessly from the Zathene shielding, like precipitation striking impervious surfaces. A subsequent barrage struck with devastating precision. Elena registered the horrifying sound of structural integrity failure. Bridge illumination extinguished abruptly. Emergency crimson lighting systems activated automatically. "Engineering reports catastrophic systems damage," a voice called through the chaos. "Primary power generation offline. Life support operating on auxiliary reserves." Elena gripped her command chair with white-knuckled intensity. "Casualty report?" A pregnant silence followed. 17 fatalities confirmed, Commander. Chief Engineer Morrison among the deceased." Elena closed her eyes momentarily. Morrison had served alongside her for 5 years, a devoted family man with a spouse and 2 offspring awaiting his return on Earth. Now she faced the unbearable task of composing notification correspondence. The Zathene commander reappeared on the view screen, satisfaction evident in his alien features. This demonstrates the consequences awaiting primitives who venture beyond their appropriate boundaries. "Your technology proves pathetic. Your defensive capabilities resemble parchment. Your armaments qualify as children's playthings. Should another human vessel enter this sector, clemency will not be extended." The 3 alien warships executed a coordinated departure, abandoning the Endeavour adrift in the void like wounded prey. For hours the crew labored in desperate silence, sealing hull breaches with improvised materials and rerouting power through compromised systems. Dr. Sarah Chen, the ship's chief medical officer, moved through the corridors administering emergency treatment and covering the deceased with sterile white sheets. Elena conducted a personal inspection of the damaged sections. She witnessed charred control panels and puncture wounds in bulkheads where Zathene weaponry had penetrated. She observed her crew's expressions, some weeping openly, others staring into emptiness with vacant eyes. In engineering, she discovered Morrison's assistant, a young technician named David, attempting repairs to the primary reactor. His hands trembled as he worked. "We can restore basic functionality, Commander." David stated without lifting his gaze. The execution won't be elegant, but we can achieve Earth orbit. Exemplary work, David, Elena said quietly, placing a hand upon his shoulder. Morrison would take pride in your performance. David ceased his activities and turned toward her. Tears streaked his face. They possessed no justification for this action. We posed no threat whatsoever. We were simply exploring. I understand, Elena said, feeling rage smoldering within her chest. I understand completely. Restoring engine functionality required 3 days. The return voyage to Earth consumed 6 weeks rather than the standard 3. Daily, Elena occupied her command chair, contemplating the events. She reflected upon the 17 lives extinguished. She recalled the Zathene commander's expression in his verbal assessment. Primitives, pathetic toys. When the Endeavour finally limped into Earth orbit, news media vessels and military craft immediately surrounded them. Footage of the assault had been transmitted ahead. Every citizen of Earth had witnessed the Zathene aggression. Elena stood before the United Defense Council 48 hours later. The assembly chamber contained admirals, generals, and political officials, all demanding explanations. Commander Voss, Admiral Marcus Chen stated formally, "Provide comprehensive testimony." Elena recounted the assault in precise detail, Morrison's death, the 16 other casualties, the Zathene commander's contemptuous declarations and derisive laughter at human technological capabilities. Upon conclusion, silence dominated the chamber. Then Admiral Chen spoke again. His voice hardened like forged steel. They designated us primitives. They characterized our technology as pathetic. They murdered our personnel and abandoned us to drift in space. He rose and surveyed the assembly. I propose we demonstrate what primitives accomplish when provoked beyond tolerance. The other admirals nodded in agreement. General Rodriguez, a distinguished woman with steel-gray hair, leaned forward intently. A response is imperative, not revenge, but rather a statement of position. We must construct something that will give pause to every aggressive species in this galaxy before attacking humanity again. What do you propose? Someone inquired. Admiral Chen smiled without warmth. We construct a vessel, not merely any vessel. We build something unprecedented, something that will communicate to them that humanity neither forgives nor forgets easily. Elena felt something stirring within her chest. Hope, perhaps, or possibly something darker. What specifications? The most formidable warship ever conceived, Chen replied. And Commander Voss, you will command her. Part 2. The Forge. The conference chamber deep within Earth's military command complex overflowed with personnel. Scientists, engineers, military officers, and governmental officials occupied every available seat. On the massive display screen, Admiral Chen projected images of the damaged Endeavour alongside photographs of the 17 deceased crew members. Ladies and gentlemen, Chen commenced. For too long, humanity has pursued peaceful exploration exclusively. We constructed vessels for scientific purposes, not warfare. However, the galaxy has demonstrated that peace alone proves insufficient. The Zathene attacked without provocation. They murdered our people. They labeled us primitives. He paused, scanning the assembly. They committed a grave miscalculation. They anticipated we would accept their brutality and cower in fear. Instead, we shall demonstrate humanity's greatest strength: adaptation, perseverance, and construction. Chen activated a new display showing unprecedented ship specifications, a massive vessel bristling with weaponry that appeared almost aggressive in configuration. This is Project Retribution, Chen continued. We will construct a vessel to protect humanity while transmitting an unambiguous message to every hostile species. Attack us, and face overwhelming retaliation. A young woman in the front row raised her hand, perhaps 30 years of age, with dark hair secured in a practical style. Admiral, I'm Dr. Sarah Kim from MIT's Quantum Physics Department. Your specifications indicate fusion reactors, but the power output seems impossible with current technological capabilities. Chen smiled. That's precisely why you're here, Dr. Kim. We require individuals who can achieve the impossible. Your research on high-density fusion reactions attracted our attention. We need those engines operational. Dr. Kim studied the specifications again. Elena observed her analytical mind processing probabilities and solutions. I would require unrestricted access to classified military research facilities and unlimited budgetary resources. Both granted, Chen replied without hesitation. A scarred military officer rose, built powerfully with visible combat experience. Commander James Rodriguez, Weapons Development Division. Admiral, this vessel incorporates more weapon systems than any capital ship in human naval history. The power requirements would drain reactors within minutes, which explains why we need Dr. Kim's revolutionary engines, Chen stated. And why we need you, Commander. You've designed weapons that challenged every safety regulation in existence. Now I'm authorizing you to disregard those regulations. Create weapons that will terrify our adversaries. Rodriguez grinned, the expression of someone who had awaited this moment throughout their career. When do I commence? Immediately, Chen answered. A thin man in the rear raised his hand nervously, wearing thick spectacles and a coffee-stained shirt. Kenji Yamamoto, Artificial Intelligence Research. Admiral, I observe in these specifications that you desire a tactical AI system, but military AI faces severe restrictions. The algorithms I've been developing are considered too dangerous for deployment. Chen nodded knowingly. I'm aware of your work, Mr. Yamamoto. I also know you've been developing a complete tactical intelligence system clandestinely. Ordinarily, that would warrant arrest. Today, it makes you the most valuable person in this chamber. We need your AI to coordinate every system on this vessel in real time. Yamamoto appeared shocked. How did you discover Athena? We know everything, Mr. Yamamoto. The question is whether you'll assist us. Yamamoto adjusted his spectacles nervously. What you're requesting violates every safety protocol in existence. An authentic AI with military control could prove extremely dangerous. Not as dangerous as remaining defenseless, Elena interjected from her seat. Every head turned toward her. I was present, Mr. Yamamoto. I witnessed 17 crew members perish because our technology proved inadequate. I watched an alien commander laugh at us. If your AI can prevent that from recurring, we must accept that risk. Yamamoto regarded her silently for an extended moment. Then he nodded slowly. I'll proceed, but I demand complete control over AI development. No military oversight, no committees, just my team and myself. Agreed, Chen stated immediately. For the following hour, additional specialists were introduced. Structural engineers specializing in advanced materials, shield technicians with revolutionary concepts, weapons experts whose designs had been deemed too destructive to implement. All shared one commonality. They were the finest in their respective fields, and they were furious about what had befallen the Endeavor. Following the assembly, Elena found herself in a small office with Admiral Chen and General Rodriguez. The general was a stern woman with gray hair and penetrating eyes. Commander Voss, Rodriguez began formally. You comprehend what we're requesting? This vessel will be a weapon. Its purpose is intimidation and, if necessary, enemy vessel destruction. I understand, Elena replied steadily. You were a science officer before assuming command, Rodriguez continued. You dedicated your career to peaceful exploration. Can you command a warship? Elena thought of Morrison. She recalled the young pilot who died at his station. The doctor killed while attempting to save others. She remembered the Zathene commander's face. General, I became a commander to explore the cosmos and establish peaceful contact with other civilizations, Elena said quietly. But I also took an oath to protect my crew and my species. The Zathene taught me that sometimes peace proves insufficient. Sometimes you must demonstrate strength. Yes, I can command this vessel. Rodriguez studied her expression momentarily, then nodded. Excellent, because you'll need exceptional fortitude. This project will require months of intensive effort. The crew you select must trust you implicitly. And upon completion, you'll take this vessel into space and show the galaxy humanity's true capabilities. Chen produced a data tablet and extended it toward Elena. This contains everything we know about Zathene military capabilities, their alliances, and other potentially hostile species. Study it thoroughly. Learn their tactics. Identify their vulnerabilities. Elena accepted the device. When does construction commence? The facility is already being prepared, Chen replied. We're calling it Titan Forge, hidden within Saturn's rings, far from observation. In 7 days, you and the entire team will transfer there. From that moment forward, you'll have one mission. Construct the most formidable vessel humanity has ever created. What's her designation? Elena inquired. Chen smiled. Prometheus Rising. In ancient mythology, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gifted it to humanity. The gods punished him severely, but humans used that fire to build civilization. The Zathene consider themselves gods. We're going to steal their fire and use it to forge their downfall. Elena examined the vessel specifications on her tablet. Brutal and powerful, nothing resembling the peaceful exploration vessel she had commanded. But as she studied it, she felt something growing within her. Not merely anger, but unwavering determination. The Zathene had initiated this conflict. Humanity would conclude it 7 days, she stated firmly. We'll be prepared. Part 3. The Rising. The Titan Forge facility floated concealed among Saturn's rings, a massive construction station built in secrecy over the preceding decade. Elena stood in the observation deck watching hundreds of workers in environmental suits moving across the skeletal framework of what would become Prometheus Rising. It's more massive than I anticipated, Dr. Kim remarked beside her. The physicist displayed dark circles beneath her eyes from sleep deprivation, but her voice carried excitement. The reactor housing alone is triple the dimensions of a standard capital ship engine compartment. Will your fusion system function? Elena inquired. Dr. Kim smiled. It will function. I've been executing simulations for 72 consecutive hours. The problem with conventional fusion reactors is that everyone attempts to play it safe. They utilize magnetic containment fields that are too weak, fuel mixtures that are too stable. They fear pushing boundaries. And you don't fear that, Elena observed. Oh, I'm terrified, Dr. Kim admitted. But humanity didn't reach space by playing it safe. My reactors utilize a triple-core design with plasma temperatures that would make most engineers flee in terror. The containment fields operate at 98% of maximum capacity. If something malfunctions, the entire reactor section could detonate. Elena raised an eyebrow. That doesn't sound particularly reassuring. But it functions, Dr. Kim continued enthusiastically. The power output is extraordinary, triple the energy of comparable alien technology. With that much power, we can operate every system on this vessel simultaneously and still possess energy reserves. Aliens build efficient engines. We build powerful ones. Over subsequent weeks, Elena observed the vessel taking shape. The hull was unprecedented in human naval architecture. Commander Rodriguez had designed it using carbon nanotube weaving that could absorb and redistribute impact forces. The outer layers contained millions of microscopic repair drones capable of patching breaches and reinforcing damaged sections automatically. Traditional armor is foolish, Rodriguez explained one day as they inspected hull construction. It just sits there absorbing damage. Our armor fights back, it adapts. If the enemy strikes one section repeatedly, the repair drones will reinforce that area and strengthen it. What about weaponry? Elena asked, Rodriguez's eyes illuminated. Follow me. They took a transport shuttle to the weapons deck. Elena stepped out and stopped abruptly. The entire level overflowed with weapon systems. Railguns lining the walls, missile tubes covering every available surface, plasma cannons being installed by engineering teams. Energy beam emitters, kinetic projectile launchers, and systems Elena didn't recognize filled the space. Most alien vessels specialize, Rodriguez explained. They have beam weapons or missiles or plasma cannons. They select one or two types and optimize for those. We rejected that approach. Prometheus Rising carries everything. If one weapon proves ineffective against an enemy, we try another and another. We keep striking them until something fails. Elena walked along the weapons deck. This seems excessive. Excessive is precisely the point, Rodriguez replied. When this vessel enters combat, I want the enemy to observe their sensors and experience fear. I want them to see the weapon signatures and realize they made a catastrophic mistake. Humans don't build elegant weapons, Commander. We build weapons that work. In another section, Kenji Yamamoto worked in a sealed laboratory filled with computing equipment. Elena had to pass through 3 security checkpoints just to visit him. Upon entering, she found him conversing with a wall of screens displaying code. Mr. Yamamoto, Elena called out. He turned around, startled. Commander Voss, my apologies. I was discussing strategic protocols with Athena. The AI is active, Elena asked with surprise. In limited capacity, Yamamoto explained. Currently, she's still learning, but she's already demonstrating remarkable capabilities. Observe this. He entered commands on a keyboard. Immediately, a holographic display materialized in the chamber's center. showing Prometheus rising surrounded by enemy vessels. The simulation executed, and Elena watched as the ship coordinated its weaponry with perfect precision. Missiles fired in patterns that herded enemy vessels into kill zones. Railguns tracked multiple targets simultaneously. Defensive systems worked together like a living organism. Athena can coordinate every system on this vessel simultaneously, Yamamoto explained. Human crews require time to process information and issue orders. Athena processes information in microseconds. She perceives patterns and opportunities that humans would miss, and she learns from every engagement. Is she dangerous? Elena asked quietly. Yamamoto remained silent momentarily. Any weapon is dangerous, Commander. The question is whether the danger is controlled. I've built safeguards into her programming. She cannot harm humans. She cannot seize control of the vessel without authorization. She's a tool, not a commander. But she's more than just a computer, Elena stated. Yes, Yamamoto admitted, she is. I've created something that thinks and learns. It keeps me awake at night sometimes, wondering if I've made a mistake. But then I remember why we're building this ship. The Zethine attacked us because they thought we were weak. Athena will help ensure that never happens again. Months passed. Prometheus Rising grew from a skeleton to a complete vessel. Engineers installed the final hull plates. Technicians activated weapon systems one by one. Dr. Kim's fusion reactors came online, flooding the ship with power. Elena walked through the completed corridors and felt awe. This was not a ship built for exploration or peace. This was a ship built for war. Every surface, every system, every weapon was designed with one purpose: to make humanity's enemies regret their aggression. The crew began arriving, 3,000 men and women, all volunteers. Many were survivors of attacks by hostile aliens. Others were relatives of people who had been killed. All shared the same determination. They wanted to show the galaxy that humanity couldn't be intimidated. Elena met with each department head personally. The weapons officer was a veteran who had lost her entire squadron in a pirate attack. The chief engineer was Morrison's former assistant, David, who had requested the position. The medical officer had treated the wounded from the Endeavour attack. "We're ready, Commander," Admiral Chen told her during a video conference. "Prometheus Rising is complete. It's time for the shakedown cruise." Elena stood on the bridge of her new vessel. It was triple the size of the Endeavour's bridge, with dozens of stations and screens displaying information. In the center was a holographic projector, where Athena could manifest. "All crew, this is the commander," Elena said over the ship-wide communication system. "Today we take Prometheus Rising out for the first time. We're not just testing a ship. We're testing a promise that humanity will never again be called primitive, that we will never again watch our friends die while enemies laugh at us. This ship is our answer to the galaxy. We are here, we are strong, and we will not be ignored." The crew cheered. Elena took her seat in the command chair. "Helm, take us out." Prometheus Rising moved forward, leaving Titan Forge behind. Its engines burned bright in the darkness of space, and the most dangerous ship humanity had ever created began its journey. Part 4. The Trial. The first week of testing was catastrophic. Elena sat in her ready room reviewing damage reports with mounting frustration. During a weapons test, 3 railguns had fired simultaneously and overloaded the power grid. Half the ship had lost power for 20 minutes. In another test, the missile systems had launched correctly, but the targeting AI had confused friendly drones with enemy targets. "We built this vessel too quickly," Commander Rodriguez admitted during a senior staff meeting. "We put so many systems together that they're competing for power and processing time." Dr. Kim nodded in agreement. "The reactors are producing sufficient energy, but the distribution network cannot handle the load when multiple systems activate simultaneously. We need to redesign the power management system." "We don't have time for a redesign," Elena said firmly. "The Defense Council wants results. They want us to begin patrols within a month." "Then we will fail," Yamamoto said bluntly. Everyone turned to look at him. "Commander, this ship was built with anger, not wisdom. We placed every weapon we could conceive on it. We made the reactors as powerful as possible. We crammed in technology without considering how it would all work together. The result is a ship that's dangerous to its own crew." Elena felt anger rising in her chest, but she forced it down. Yamamoto was correct. They had been so focused on making something powerful that they had forgotten to make it functional. "What do you suggest?" she asked. "Give Athena more control," Yamamoto replied. "Currently, the crew is attempting to coordinate hundreds of systems manually. It's too much, but Athena can manage it. She can balance power distribution, coordinate weapons fire, and adjust defensive systems in real time. Let her do what she was designed to do." "That means giving an AI control of a warship," the weapons officer said nervously. "What if something goes wrong?" "Something is already wrong," Yamamoto pointed out. "We either trust Athena, or we accept that this ship will never reach its potential." Elena made her decision. "Do it. Give Athena full tactical control, but I want manual overrides on everything. If I give an order, the systems respond to me, not the AI." "Understood," Yamamoto said. Over the next 2 weeks, the crew learned to work with Athena instead of fighting against her. The AI's holographic form appeared on the bridge, a simple geometric pattern of blue light. Her voice was calm and professional. "Commander, I am detecting inefficient power usage in the port weapons array," Athena would say. "Recommend shutting down 3 railguns to maintain optimal energy levels." At first, the crew resented taking orders from a computer, but gradually they began to see the benefits. Systems that had been clumsy and slow became smooth and coordinated. The ship began to feel less like a collection of parts and more like a single unified weapon. "We're ready for a combat simulation," Elena announced one morning. "Athena, load simulation program Delta 7. The bridge screens lit up with tactical data. The simulation showed Prometheus rising facing 10 enemy cruisers in an asteroid field, a scenario designed to be nearly impossible to win. "Begin simulation," Elena ordered. What happened next amazed her. Prometheus rising moved through the asteroids like a dancer. Athena calculated trajectories that seemed impossible, using the asteroids as cover while coordinating weapon strikes with perfect timing. Railguns fired through gaps between rocks. Missiles used the asteroids to hide their approach. In less than 5 minutes, all 10 enemy ships were destroyed. "Simulation complete," Athena announced. "0 damage sustained." The bridge crew sat in stunned silence. Then someone started clapping, and soon everyone was cheering. They had finally found the ship's true potential. "Well done, Athena," Elena said with a smile. "Well done, everyone." 2 days later, Prometheus Rising was conducting deep space maneuvers when Athena spoke urgently. "Commander, I am detecting 3 ships on an intercept course. Configuration matches Zathene military vessels." Elena felt her heart rate increase. Battle stations, all crew to combat positions. The bridge transformed as crew members rushed to their stations. Red alert lights bathed everything in crimson. Elena pulled up the tactical display and saw the 3 Zathene ships approaching, the same design as the ones that had attacked the Endeavor. "Open a channel," Elena ordered. The main screen flickered and a familiar face appeared. It was the same Zathene commander who had attacked her ship months ago. His 4 eyes widened in recognition. "You," he said with surprise. "The primitive captain from the weak ship. You survived." "I did," Elena replied coldly, "and I brought friends." The Zathene commander looked at his instruments, then back at the screen. His expression became amused. "You bring 1 ship against 3. You humans truly are foolish. Your last vessel was pathetic. This one will be no different." "I'm giving you 1 chance," Elena said. "Leave now. Don't make me show you what this ship can do." The Zathene commander laughed, the same cruel laugh Elena had heard in her nightmares. "You think you can threaten us? Your technology is primitive. Your weapons are toys. We will destroy you just like we destroyed your last ship, and then we will go to Earth and show your people what happens to species who don't know their place." He cut the transmission. Immediately, all 3 Zathene ships opened fire. "Athena, you have tactical control," Elena said calmly. "Show them what we built." What happened next would be discussed in military academies for years to come. The Zathene expected the same weak ship they had fought before. Instead, they encountered a nightmare. Prometheus Rising's shields absorbed the first barrage without even flickering. Then the ship moved, accelerating with impossible speed. Athena coordinated every weapon system simultaneously. Railguns fired in a pattern that overwhelmed the Zathene shields. Plasma cannons melted through armor plating. Missiles weaved through defensive fire like they had minds of their own. But Elena had given Athena specific instructions. Disable, don't destroy. So Athena targeted engines and weapon systems. The first Zathene ship lost its engines and spun helplessly in space. The second lost all its weapons in a precise strike that left the rest of the ship intact. The third tried to run, but a missile took out its faster-than-light drive. The entire engagement lasted 47 seconds. Elena opened a channel to all three ships. The Zathene commander appeared on screen again, but his arrogance was gone. Now he looked terrified. "You called us primitives," Elena said quietly. "You said our technology was pathetic. You killed 17 of my crew members and laughed about it." She leaned forward. "Now you're going to go back to your collective. You're going to tell them exactly what happened here. Tell them that humanity remembers. Tell them that we don't forgive. And tell them that if they ever attack another human ship, we won't just disable their vessels, we will end them." She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. They were all staring at her with wide eyes. "Set course for Earth," Elena ordered. "It's time to show the Defense Council what we've accomplished." As Prometheus Rising jumped to faster-than-light speed, leaving 3 disabled Zathene ships drifting in space, Elena allowed herself a small smile. The message had been sent. Humanity was no longer prey. Part 5. The declaration news of the encounter spread through space faster than light itself. Within days, every major civilization in the galaxy knew about the human ship that had defeated 3 Zathene vessels in less than a minute. Some species sent congratulations. Others sent warnings. But the Zathene sent a declaration of war. Admiral Chen called Elena to a secure video conference. His face was grim. "The Zathene Collective has assembled a fleet. Intelligence reports 50 warships, including their heavy dreadnought. They're calling it the largest military response in their history." "Where are they headed?" Elena asked, though she already knew the answer. "They're hunting for you, Commander. They want to destroy Prometheus Rising and restore their reputation. Their pride is wounded." Elena looked at the tactical map showing the fleet's position. 50 ships against 1. The odds were insane. "We should call for reinforcements," Commander Rodriguez suggested. "Earth has 30 warships in range. We could assemble a fleet of our own." "No," Elena said firmly. "This is exactly what we built this ship for. To show hostile species that they cannot bully humanity anymore. If we run or hide behind a fleet, the message is lost. We fight alone." "Commander," Dr. Kim said nervously, "the reactors can handle a sustained fight, but 50 ships? That's considerable firepower." "Then we'd better not let them all shoot at us at the same time," Elena replied. Athena analysis. The AI's holographic form appeared. "The Zathene fleet is using a standard battle formation. They are confident in their numbers. I calculate a 73% chance of victory if we use unconventional tactics." "And if we fight them conventionally?" Elena asked. "Less than 5%, Athena replied. "Then unconventional it is," Elena said. "Set course for the Amber Nebula. We'll make our stand there." The Amber Nebula was a massive cloud of gas and dust that interfered with sensors and communications. Most ships avoided it because it made navigation difficult. Prometheus Rising arrived 3 days before the Zathene fleet and prepared for battle. Elena walked through the ship talking to her crew. She saw determination in their faces, but also fear. They were about to face overwhelming odds. "I know you're scared," she told them in the mess hall. "I'm scared too. But remember why we're here. Remember the Endeavor. Remember everyone who has died because hostile species thought humans were weak. Today we prove them wrong. Today we show the galaxy what happens when you push humanity too far." The crew cheered, but Elena could see the worry in their eyes. 50 ships was a lot, no matter how advanced Prometheus Rising was. The Zathene fleet arrived right on schedule. They emerged from faster-than-light travel in a massive formation, their ships stretching across space like a wall of metal and weapons. Elena watched them on the main screen and felt her stomach tighten. "Incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. A new Zathene appeared on screen. This one wore elaborate armor decorated with medals. His 4 eyes burned with rage. "I am Admiral Krell of the Zathene Collective," he announced. "You have humiliated our forces and killed our warriors. For this crime, you will be destroyed. Your ship will become debris, your crew will become dust, and your pathetic species will learn to fear the Zathene forever." "Admiral Krell," Elena replied calmly. "You have brought 50 ships to fight one. You bring a dreadnought to crush a single vessel, and yet you feel the need to make threats. That tells me you're afraid." Krell's face twisted with anger. "We fear nothing, especially not primitive humans with 1 stolen ship." This ship wasn't stolen, Elena said. We built it with human hands and human minds and human determination. You think your numbers will save you, but you're about to learn an important lesson about humanity. We don't fight fair. She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. All hands, this is the commander. Battle stations. Athena, you have tactical control. Make them regret coming here. The Zathene fleet attacked. 50 ships firing simultaneously created a light show that filled space. Energy beams and missiles converged on Prometheus Rising's position. But the human ship wasn't there anymore. Athena had calculated the exact moment to move. Prometheus Rising dove into the densest part of the nebula, where sensors couldn't track it clearly. The Zathene weapons hit empty space and each other. Enemy fleet is confused, Athena reported. They are having difficulty maintaining formation in the nebula. Recommend hit-and-run tactics. Execute, Elena ordered. Prometheus Rising burst from the nebula gas like a predator attacking prey. Its weapons fired in perfect coordination. 3 Zathene ships exploded before they could react. Then the human ship vanished back into the gas. Admiral Krell screamed orders at his fleet. They spread out, trying to cover more space. But that was exactly what Athena had predicted. Divided, the ships were vulnerable. Again and again, Prometheus Rising struck. It would appear, destroy or disable several ships, then disappear before the Zathene could respond. Athena used the nebula like a tool, calculating exactly where to attack for maximum effect. But the Zathene were learning. They adapted their formations and started using wide-area weapons that filled the nebula with explosions. One blast caught Prometheus Rising directly. The ship shook violently. Alarm screamed. Hull breach on deck 7. Someone shouted. We have casualties. Shields down to 40%. Another voice called out. Elena gripped her chair. They had destroyed or disabled 20 ships, but 30 remained. And now the Zathene dreadnought was moving forward. It was twice the size of any other ship in the fleet, covered in weapons and heavy armor. Commander, Athena said, the dreadnought's weapons are charging. If they fire, our shields will not hold. Elena watched the massive ship approach. It was now or never. Either they ran or they did something crazy. How much power do we have in reserve? Elena asked. Approximately 60% of maximum capacity, Dr. Kim replied from engineering. Redirect everything to engines and forward shields, Elena ordered. Athena, I need a direct course to that dreadnought. The bridge went silent. Everyone understood what she was planning. Commander, Rodriguez said carefully, that's a suicide run. No, Elena replied. It's a gamble. Athena, what are the odds the antimatter lance will work? There was a pause. The weapon is experimental. It has never been tested in combat. Probability of success is 47%. Better than 0, Elena said. All hands brace for impact. We're going straight at them. Prometheus Rising's engines burned at maximum power. The ship accelerated directly toward the massive dreadnought. The Zathene couldn't believe what they were seeing. The human ship was charging them head-on. The dreadnought fired. Its massive energy beam tore into Prometheus Rising's forward shields. The entire ship shook. Systems overloaded. People were thrown from their seats. But the ship kept moving forward, shields failing. Someone shouted. Hold together, Elena whispered to her ship. Just a little longer. They were almost at point-blank range now. The dreadnought filled the entire viewport. Elena could see its weapons charging for another shot that would finish them. Now, Athena, Elena screamed. Fire everything! The antimatter lance was Dr. Kim's secret project, a weapon that focused pure destructive energy into a beam smaller than a human hand. It required every bit of power the reactors could produce. It existed for only 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds were enough. The beam punched through the dreadnought's shields like they were made of paper. It cut through the armor and into the ship's core. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire dreadnought split in half. Both pieces exploded in massive fireballs. The remaining Zathene ships stopped firing. They had just watched their most powerful vessel get destroyed by a single human ship. Admiral Krell's voice came over the communications channel, but it was no longer confident. It was terrified. Retreat, he said simply. All ships retreat immediately. The Zathene fleet turned and ran. They jumped to faster than light speed and vanished, leaving debris and disabled ships behind. Elena slumped in her command chair. They had done it. Against 50 ships, they had won. Damage report, she said weakly. Hull breaches on 3 decks. 27 casualties. Main reactor is operating at 30% capacity. But we're alive. Elena closed her eyes. 27 dead. 27 more names to add to the memorial. But they had proven something important. Humanity could not be bullied anymore. Part 6. The Reckoning Prometheus Rising limped back to Earth orbit. The journey took 2 weeks because half the faster-than-light drive was damaged. Elena spent those weeks visiting the wounded in the medical bay and writing letters to the families of the dead. 27 more people had given their lives. 27 more reasons to remember that victory always came with a price. When they finally arrived at Earth, thousands of ships surrounded them. Military vessels, civilian craft, news shuttles, all of them waiting to see the ship that had defeated 50 Zathian warships. Elena stood at the viewport and watched the planet below. Somewhere down there, families were receiving her letters and crying over loved ones who would never come home. "Commander," the communications officer called out, "Admiral Chen is requesting a video conference." Chen's face appeared on the screen. He was smiling, but his eyes were sad. He understood the cost of their victory. "Commander Voss, the entire world is celebrating. You've done something incredible. You've shown every hostile species in the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with. We paid for that message with 27 lives," Elena replied quietly, "and 17 more died on the Endeavor. That's 44 people who will never see their families again." "I know," Chen said, "and I wish I could tell you that their sacrifice will mean no one else has to die. But that would be a lie. The galaxy is a dangerous place. There will be more fights, more casualties. But because of what you did, maybe there will be fewer. Maybe some species will think twice before attacking humans. That has to mean something." Before Elena could respond, another message came through. This one bearing the seal of the Galactic Council, the organization that governed relations between the major civilizations. "They're requesting your presence at an emergency session," Chen said. "Every member species wants to meet the commander of Prometheus Rising." 3 days later, Elena took a shuttle down to the council station that orbited a neutral moon. She wore her full military uniform, and the medal commemorating the 17 crew members lost on the Endeavor hung over her heart. The council chamber was enormous. Representatives from dozens of species sat in a circular arrangement. Elena recognized some of them from intelligence reports. The Venthari Collective, masters of energy weapons. The Karathi Empire, known for their powerful shields. The Sisterhood of Zarn, peaceful traders who controlled most commerce in this sector. And in one corner, looking smaller than usual, sat 3 Zathian representatives. The council speaker, a tall alien with azure skin and multiple arms, stood to address the chamber. "We gather today to discuss the recent conflict between the human species and the Zathian Collective. The humans, despite being one of the youngest spacefaring civilizations, have demonstrated military capability that has shocked the galaxy." Murmurs filled the chamber. Elena stood calmly, her hands clasped behind her back as various species debated what she represented. "They are dangerous," one representative said. "They built a warship more powerful than anything we've seen in decades. What's to stop them from building more, from conquering their neighbors? They defended themselves," another argued. "The Zathian attacked first, unprovoked. The humans simply responded." The speaker raised a hand for silence. "Commander Voss, you may address the council." Elena stepped forward. Every eye in the chamber focused on her. She thought about Morrison and the others who had died. She thought about the crew of Prometheus Rising, wounded but still standing. She thought about humanity, small and young compared to these ancient civilizations trying to find its place among the stars. "Members of the council," she began. "6 months ago, my ship was attacked without warning. We were on a peaceful exploration mission. We threatened no one. We made no demands, and yet we were fired upon. 17 of my crew were killed. The attacking commander called us primitives. He said our technology was pathetic. He left us to die in space." She paused and looked around the chamber. "Humanity is young." "That's true. We've only been traveling the stars for a few generations. Many of you have civilizations that are thousands of years old. Your technology is elegant and efficient. You've learned to build ships that work in harmony with the universe. But we humans," she continued, "we learned something different. We learned to survive. For millions of years on our homeworld, we were not the strongest species. We were not the fastest. We didn't have claws or armor or venom. What we had was stubbornness. When something threatened us, we didn't run or hide. We adapted. We overcame. We built tools and weapons and kept fighting until we won. The Zathine made a mistake, Elena said, her voice growing stronger. They thought that because we were young, we were weak. They thought they could attack us without consequences. So we showed them what humans do when threatened. We built Prometheus Rising, not because we want to conquer anyone, not because we seek to dominate the galaxy, but because we refuse to be victims. She looked directly at the Zathine representatives. They wouldn't meet her eyes. We don't want war, Elena continued. We want peace. We want to explore and learn and trade with other species. But peace doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean we'll accept being attacked or bullied or called primitive. Prometheus Rising is a promise: attack humanity, and we will respond with everything we have. The chamber was silent. Then the Venthari representative stood. Commander Voss, your words are noted, but many here fear what your species might become. You've built one ship of incredible power. What's to stop you from building 100? 1,000? Elena nodded. That's a fair question. Let me answer it clearly. Humanity could build more ships like Prometheus Rising. We have the knowledge and the resources, but we choose not to. One ship is enough to send our message. We're building new vessels now, but they're exploration ships and cargo haulers and science vessels, ships of peace, not war. Prometheus Rising will remain. It will patrol human space and protect our people, but it will not be used for aggression or conquest. It exists only to ensure that what happened to the Endeavor never happens again. The council speaker considered her words. And if another species attacks humans? What then?
Then we respond appropriately, Elena said simply.
We defend ourselves. We protect our people, but we don't seek revenge or domination. We seek only safety and respect. The vote took 3 hours. In the end, the council officially recognized humanity's right to defend itself. They also extended an invitation for humans to join the council as full members, unprecedented for such a young species. But the vote was nearly unanimous. Only the Zathine representatives abstained. Epilogue. The Guardian, Elena, returned to Prometheus Rising the next day. The crew had been making repairs and the ship looked better. Not perfect, but better. She called them all together in the main hangar bay. The galaxy knows about us now, she told them. Some species respect us. Some fear us. Some are still deciding what to think. But all of them know one thing. Humanity is not weak. She paused and looked at the faces around her. We lost people in this fight. Good people who deserve to go home to their families. Their names are now part of this ship. They will be remembered every time Prometheus Rising flies, and their sacrifice means that maybe, just maybe, other humans won't have to die the way they did. We are not conquerors, Elena continued. We are not monsters. We are defenders. We are the line between those who would harm humanity and those we protect, and we will hold that line no matter what it costs. The crew saluted. Elena saluted back. Later, standing alone on the bridge, Elena looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Zathine were licking their wounds. Other species were reassessing their views on humanity. The galaxy was changing because of what they had done. On her command console, she pulled up the memorial file. It now held 44 names, 44 reasons why Prometheus Rising existed. She read each name slowly, committing them to memory. The ship's computer chimed. A new message from Earth. Construction had begun on a new generation of ships. Not warships, but vessels designed for science and exploration and trade. Humanity was moving forward, building a future among the stars. But Prometheus Rising would remain. A guardian. A protector. A reminder that humanity had earned its place in the galaxy, not through conquest or dominance, but through determination and the refusal to be destroyed. Elena smiled and gave the order. Helm, set course for the outer rim. We have stars to protect. Prometheus Rising turned and flew into the darkness, its weapons quiet but ready, its mission clear. Humanity would explore the galaxy in peace. But if anyone threatened that peace, they would face the most dangerous ship ever built. And they would learn what the Zathine had learned. Never underestimate humanity.